In 2006, a man named Richard Lee McNair escaped from a federal penitentiary in Pollock, Louisiana. It was his third prison escape. Not his first, his third. He worked in the prison's industries building, which gave him access to the mail room. One afternoon, he climbed into a large canvas mail sack. Another inmate stitched the sack shut behind him. The sack was loaded onto a pallet. The pallet was placed on a truck. The guards at the front gate checked the manifest, saw that it said mail, and waved the truck through. Richard Lee McNair rode out of a federal penitentiary inside a bag on a Tuesday afternoon. He was found in Canada a year and a half later. No tunnels, no helicopters, no explosions. A mail sack and a guard who didn't open it. And that pattern, that specific vulnerability, is the only thing that has ever worked. You're lying on a concrete slab in a 6 by 8 foot cell. The walls are 12 inches of reinforced concrete. The door is solid steel. There's a camera above your head that never turns off. Through a narrow window slit, you can see two 16-foot fences topped with concertina wire and a 50-foot strip of gravel between them that triggers an alarm if anything heavier than a squirrel touches it. You've watched Shawshank Redemption 3 times. You've binged Prison Break. You once told someone at a party that El Chapo's tunnel escape was actually pretty simple if you think about it. The concrete is not how you get out of here. The steel is not how you get out. The cameras, the fences, the sensors, none of that is where the weakness lives. The weakness is a person. It's always been a person. But before you find that person, you need to understand why everything else fails. Tunnels, the classic escape. You scratch through concrete with a sharpened spoon for 6 months, hide the dirt in your pockets, and pop out on the other side of the wall. In a modern maximum security facility, the building sits on a concrete slab. Some have seismic sensors embedded in the foundation that detect vibrations from digging. The walls extend below ground level. And even if you could somehow scratch through reinforced concrete with a cafeteria utensil, which you can't, the sound carries through adjacent cells within hours. Someone hears it. Someone talks. In prison, someone always talks. El Chapo's tunnel in 2015 was a mile long with ventilation, lighting, a rail system, and a modified motorcycle to ride out on. It cost an estimated $5 million and took months of professional engineering from the outside. He didn't dig out. A cartel with mining expertise dug in. Unless you have a cartel-funded engineering crew and $5 million in construction capital, the tunnel isn't happening. The fence is worse. Concertina wire is designed so that the more you struggle, the deeper the blades cut. Even if you somehow got through it, you'd be shredded, bleeding, slow and visible from the guard tower, which has a direct line of sight to the entire perimeter. There's a second fence after the first, and the gravel between them is wired. No documented escape from a modern maximum security facility has been accomplished by going over the fence. 0 in the last 30 years. The walls work. The technology works. What fails every single time is a human being who made a human mistake. The 2015 escape from Clinton Correctional Facility in upstate New York is the blueprint for how prison escapes actually happen. 2 inmates, maximum security. 20-foot walls, armed guard towers, cameras everywhere. They went through a prison employee named Joyce Mitchell. Mitchell worked in the tailoring shop. Over several months, she developed emotional relationships with both inmates. Eventually, she started smuggling things in. Small items at first, then hacksaw blades, then a drill bit. She hid them inside frozen hamburger meat that came through the kitchen delivery. Nobody thought to x-ray the hamburger. Over several weeks, working at night, the inmates cut through the steel walls behind their cells and reached a catwalk. From the catwalk, they accessed a network of utility tunnels and steam pipes running beneath the facility. Tunnels the prison administration had apparently forgotten existed. They cut through a steam pipe, crawled through it, and came up through a manhole cover on the other side of the prison wall. The tools came from a person who was supposed to keep them locked in. The route went through infrastructure the building's own warden didn't know about. The timing exploited a window when cell checks happened every 2 hours instead of continuously. Every piece of that escape went through a human gap. The concrete never failed. The person did. But getting through the wall is only half the problem. And for most escapees, it's the easy half. Every escape lives or dies on the Head Start window. How long before they discover your cell is empty? The Clinton inmates used decoys, bundled clothing under blankets shaped like sleeping bodies. The night shift guard checked cells through a narrow window with a flashlight. He saw shapes under blankets. He moved on. Classic movie trick. Worked perfectly. The Alcatraz escape of 1962 took it further. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers made fake heads from a mixture of soap, toilet paper, and concrete dust. They painted them with flesh-toned pigment and topped them with real human hair swept from the prison barbershop floor. The guards saw heads on pillows. They didn't look closer. 2 hours of Head Start means you can get 30 miles from the facility before anyone starts looking. 6 hours and you're a ghost. Every minute the decoy holds adds miles between you and the search perimeter that's about to tighten around the prison like a fist. But the moment your cell is found empty, everything inverts. And this is the part that separates prison escape movies from prison escape reality. Your face goes to every police station, gas station, and bus terminal within 200 miles. The U.S. Marshals Service takes the case. They recover 89% of escaped federal prisoners. They are, by any measure, the best fugitive hunters in the world. And you have nothing. No money, no ID, no phone, no car, no change of clothes. You're wearing prison-issued clothing or whatever you managed to steal on the way out. You haven't made a real-world decision in years. You don't know what things cost. You don't know current bus routes. Your head is shaved, your skin is pallid from years of fluorescent light, and anyone who looks at you for 3 seconds on a sidewalk knows something is wrong. The first instinct is to call someone. Your mother, your girlfriend, your best friend. Their phones have been tapped since you were convicted. The moment you dial, the marshals have your approximate location within 4 minutes. The second instinct is to go somewhere familiar. You're old. Apartment? Your friend's house, your hometown. Every one of those locations was flagged the minute your cell came up empty. Agents are sitting in parked cars outside the most likely ones within hours. The third instinct is to use a card. Any card. A stolen credit card at a gas station. The transaction hits a database in real time and your location is pinpointed to that pump, that store, that exact second. Most escapees are recaptured within 72 hours, not because the escape failed, because they called, went home, or swiped. One instinct is all it takes. The Bureau of Prisons oversees roughly 150,000 federal inmates. In a typical year, 2 to 5 escape from minimum security camps, facilities with low fences and work release programs where inmates walk out a door. From maximum security, the number is functionally 0. Fewer than 20 successful escapes from maximum security facilities across the entire country over the last decade. And successful means they cleared the wall, not that they stayed free. Of those 20, nearly all were recaptured, most within days. Which brings us back to Alcatraz, the most famous prison escape in history, and the one question about it that nobody has been able to answer for over 60 years. 36 inmates attempted to escape from Alcatraz over 29 years. 23 were caught, 6 were shot dead, 2 drowned, and 3 of them, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, climbed through ventilation shafts they'd widened with sharpened spoons over months of nighttime work, reached the roof, descended to the shore, inflated a raft they'd built from 50 stolen raincoats and paddled into San Francisco Bay. They were never seen again. The FBI spent 17 years on the case. They officially concluded the 3 men drowned in the cold currents of the bay. The bodies were never recovered. The case was closed in 1979. But in 2013, a letter arrived at the San Francisco Police Department. It claimed to be from John Anglin. It said he and his brother had survived, that Morris had died in 2008, that they'd been living under assumed names for decades. The handwriting was tested. The results were inconclusive. Whether those 3 men survived the bay is the most debated question in criminal history, and nobody has answered it in 62 years. The concrete at Alcatraz was perfect. The steel was perfect. The guard rotation was perfect on paper. But a spoon is a tool. A raincoat is a material. And a guard who checks a fake head on a pillow with a flashlight instead of a key is a gap in the only system that has ever actually failed. Every escape in this video went through the same crack. Not in the wall, in the person watching it.